Hey everybody, it's Josh with Talk About Trek, and we are back again because we have finished up yet another Trek book, and this time it was a pretty easy one, I have to say. We are jumping into the world of young adult Trek reading here for at least for the next three books as we go into Peter David's Starfleet Academy series featuring young Mr. Worf here. So the first one is entitled Worf's First Adventure. And as you can see young Mr. Worf here with his young friend here, Tanya Tobias. And this is your classic young adult book. And I don't know if you guys read a lot of these when you were a kid. I read a ton of this kind of book. Not just Star Trek. Of course, I read a lot of these. I think most of the Next Generation ones. But just a ton of these kind of short, easy to digest books, right? So, very fun. Let's read from the back here together. Before he was an officer aboard the USS Enterprise, Cadet Worf arrived at Starfleet Academy as the first Klingon to gain entrance since the Federation Klingon Peace Treaty. Raised on Earth by human parents, Worf wonders if he is still a Klingon, the proud member of an honorable warrior race, or is he more human? Where does he fit in? Command level classes fill his schedule, but nothing prepares him for his fellow cadets. Among them is his fellow foster brother, intelligent, ambitious, and confident. The Academy cadets can make life difficult for the young warrior. How can he win over his classmates, including the always logical Vulcans and the fierce Brickar, if they are still trained to think of him as the enemy? When a routine trip to a training satellite turns into an unexpected disaster, Worf must unite the cadets and risk his life before a terrible accident destroys the entire mission. Whoa, can you believe that? Just looking something up real quick here. Anyway, so the story again starts out where they are kind of getting prepared to go to Starfleet Academy, right? And they are and he has a brother, and his brother's name is Simon. And yes, see, I couldn't figure this out why his brother's name was Simon when in the episode Homeward, his brother's name is Nikolai. And now I understand why. This book was published in 1993, and the episode Homeward, there we go, came out in 1994, officially naming his brother Nikolai. So, we could say his name was Nikolai Simon Rishenko, right? To make things match up as we'd like them to match up. So we'll go ahead and say that because why not? Anyway, so him and his brother go off to Starfleet Academy where they are immediately met with a cast of characters. You have, and you might know some of these people, you have Soletta, you have Mark McHenry. He meets, like I said, Tanya Tobias, and he kind of has a little bit of trouble with a young Brickar named Zach Kebron. And listen, I don't look into like the history of these things, and I'm just kind of getting back into this stuff now after so many years. So I had no idea that he made these characters first for Starfleet Academy book. And then, as he was writing New Frontier, instead of coming up with new characters, just decided to bring these characters over, which is fantastic. I love it. So you have, I guess, what people kind of unofficially call a prequel to the New Frontier series with these three Starfleet Academy books. So that's kind of cool. The story itself, it's a young adult book, so you're going to get like a lesson that a young adult might want to get. You're in school, you're having trouble with a certain person, and you got to find a way to work that trouble out, right? And here, of course, it's the Brickar Zach Kebron. Kebron is always on Worf, basically, just trying to drive him out of the academy. And Worf is like, standing fast, not going to be driven out, right? You got a nice little cameo from a young ensign, Geordie LaForge, who, talks to Worf and kind of gives him some more confidence to stay aboard. And then also gives him kind of puts a good word in for him as well, so that he gets accepted to this Prometheus program, where they have to fly out to this starbase and do this kind of series of routine things just to kind of take care of that starbase, right? So as you can imagine, they fly out to the starbase and things go wrong. And in the process of things going wrong, Worf shows his mettle. He saves that Kebron, and even though it's like a Kobayashi Maru kind of situation, the station explodes and they all die. Worf at the end is saying, great job, fellow cadets. Today was a good day to die. And of course, the whole thing turns out to be a holodeck simulation, which I don't know if I remembered or if I just saw coming as they kind of approached this station, and as soon as the action started, you kind of, you know what's going on. This is your typical Starfleet Academy training program, right? So, anyway, it's a fun little adventure, and if you're looking for something to just keep you busy and you don't want to get too in depth, too crazy with it, right? It's a fun ride. So, and then I think taken all together, you put all three of them together, then you got something kind of substance, right? And I think they all do run together. So, came in at just 116 pages. So, yeah, you put all three of them together, and you got your typical novel-length novel, right? Novel-length novel. Very good, Josh. Anyway, it was fun, and I'm looking forward to continuing it. And it's just kind of nice, too, to get just a very simple, easy-to-digest read, right? So, we'll enjoy this before we jump into some more Peter David, right? Because summer's not over yet, and the summer of Peter David continues. So, as always, my friends, thanks for hanging out and listening. Live long and prosper. We'll see you guys in the next one. Good night.